Good afternoon, happy Friday to all of your sunshiny faces, guys. Honestly, I felt really good, rejuvenated today and stuff like that. I'll tell you guys why. I actually got to sleep in when I didn't think I was going to today. But I stayed up a little too late tonight. I woke up this morning, guys, at like 7 o'clock, and I got up and like went to go like get dressed and stuff like that, and all of a sudden I checked my phone, and our friend who we babysit for her son had sent me a text and said that they stayed out late at the fireworks last night and that her mom would actually drop him off instead at like 10 or 11 o'clock, and I was like, oh my gosh, I get to sleep in. So I ended up sleeping until like, I think I got up maybe around like, I was honestly up for probably like over a half hour before I got the text message. I didn't actually get up out of bed, but then when I was like getting dressed, and then I saw the text, and so it was probably like by that time like 7:30 or something like that. Then by like 8:45 I think I finally actually got up and started getting ready, because I didn't know if she'd be here at like 10 or 11 o'clock, and I didn't want to sleep in like super late and then be like exhausted today because, you know, like I got too much sleep or something like that, or just, you know, wind up like completely oversleeping and miss like when she gets here. And like I said, I didn't know if like she might be here early or something like that, so I didn't want to sleep like too late. So I did get up still at like 8:45 or something like that. And then, guys, so our like babysitting time today ended up being kind of cut short. We ended up just babysitting until like the normal like 4:30 when we normally babysit until, and then we ended up actually going to see the Spider-Man Far From Home, guys, which is like the third movie now I think that I have seen like opening weekend when it's come out. Like I haven't gone and see it like opening day. I haven't yet seen any movies like that same day, but we did see it again like opening weekend. And so they didn't have any seating available at our local theater that we were going to. They only had it at the other one that we went to go see Endgame at, which the seats that we had for Endgame were really weird because where we saw it was on a sorry guys, where we saw it was actually on a smaller screen, but where I was actually sitting, it was too hard for me to like, because they were reclining chairs, I couldn't recline all the way back and still be able to see the movie, or like even if I was like slouching down like further in the chair, like I couldn't see like the very bottom of the screen because there was like a ledge, and so it kind of ended up screwing up and messing with like my whole viewing experience. So when we actually went to go see this, I did bring that up, but we did go to see it in like the screen with the, or a theater with the bigger screen. So we were also sitting closer like in front, so the ledge like wasn't bothering, like, you know, it wasn't in the way or anything like that, so I was able to actually see the whole thing. We were like almost like the first next like landing after that, kind of, I guess, sort of, where like the ledge was the next one, or like the first ledge, I guess, if that makes sense. Without being in the theater, I guess it's kind of hard to describe, but I was able to like see the whole thing, and again, it was also on a bigger screen too, because I know that they have like different size screens and stuff like that, so we ended up seeing again like the bigger size one for this, which was like in their like 4 main theaters, and like I said, where we ended up seeing Endgame was in one of their like smaller like theaters, and had like the smaller screen. So anyways, though, guys, again, we ended up seeing that today, and the whole reason we ended up going today, which we were going to go maybe on Sunday, or else we were going to go next weekend actually, but Matthew was going to go see it with his friends. Originally, I don't even know how the whole thing ended up going down. We were originally supposed to see it like or he was gonna go and see it with his friends, he said on Friday night, and then I was like, oh, tomorrow? And he's like, oh, like I thought it was like today was Friday already, I thought like they meant like next Friday and stuff like that. then he was like, no, they mean this Friday, but he thought he had to work today, so we weren't gonna go and see it anyway, but then he also wasn't gonna go with his friends. And then when he found out he didn't have to work and today was Friday and that they were planning on going and seeing it today, he's like, oh, so if we want to go and see it together, like, we have to go like today, and then I'll just go see it with my friends again. And like, we were again thinking like, oh, it was gonna be like next week, so if we went on Saturday we could see it and then he could go see it again or whatever. And we kind of wanted to see it like all together, like, you know, first and stuff like that. And so, you know, it was like kind of something that we had all planned on and doing and stuff like that. It's the fact that like he was gonna go and see it first with his friends, and then we wanted to, like I said, try and see it all together us like before. So we ended up like trying to cram in time and ended up going at 7 o'clock to go and see the movie. And then it was over by about like 10 o'clock or so, so we didn't get home until like 10:30. It's now just about midnight because I stayed up a little bit and watched live PD, and we were talking about the movie and stuff like that. And so yeah, now like I said, it's just about midnight. I need to go take a shower and get to bed because I literally was up until just about midnight yesterday. And although like I never fell like totally like hardcore fell back asleep, this morning I took like maybe like a little nap. Like honestly, I was on my phone for a while, and then I think I only fell asleep and like slept for maybe like 30 to 45 minutes this morning, so I didn't really like get a whole lot of extra sleep. But yeah, so I'm still pretty tired, and again, it's already pretty late. But guys, the movie was so good. Like honestly, I don't know if I want to say I wasn't a huge fan of the first one, but comparing the two, I think I like this one better just because I think it was a little bit more of a like, it's hard and kind of weird to do a like an introduction movie, I think, without it being an origin story, and that wasn't how they did Spider-Man like to begin with, just because they weren't going to do another Spider-Man origin story. I mean, we've gotten what, 2 of those now already. You know, like I guess you don't really need a third. So like I said, it was kind of hard, I think, to like introduce a character with, again, out doing like an origin story or like something like that, and kind of just being like, oh, who is this guy, like what is, you know, what's the story with him and stuff like that, even though it's kind of obvious. But just like learning the characters, they all are like not typical like, you know, it's kind of different than I think the perception of like Spider-Man has been, even like in the comic books too and stuff like that, and all the other characters around him. It was fun, but it was also getting a little bit harder to follow, and like although it was good and I think they did it really well as like a first movie and not it having to be an origin story, but like not seeing him develop into that in that first movie, but also trying to develop him as a character in that first movie to introduce him is, again, like a little bit confusing. So it was like kind of a weird movie, I guess, like plot wise. Like I said, it was still really good, and not that I can really criticize it like at all. It's still probably one of my favorite movies, but I think that this one, like, I think just like special effects wise and like it was just really good, and the plot too I think was also really good, and it did leave you on some cliffhangers too at the end, which has really opened up like what's going on kind of thing. And it did tie up a little bit of like a few of the questions I think I had after Endgame that they did kind of answer. Matthew even said the same thing too, and they incorporated so much of that into this movie, which was also really cool. And I think that it was a perfect follow to like from the last, you know, from Endgame. And so yeah, it's like I said, pretty, like, it was a pretty good story. I think that the first Spider-Man was good too, and like I said, it's not that I'm like criticizing it or anything like that, or like, I just personally think I like this one more than I like the first one, just because, again, for me it was like trying to find like and figure out and learn about a character in that first movie, where it's not like showing the whole progression of how everything happened. You know, you just kind of get this character and the superhero that already has these powers and stuff like that, but you don't see how that person is kind of progressing and stuff like that. And although it does do that in the movie, I guess, you know, it's a different way of doing it, which is like, again, kind of unique, but it's also like, now that that character is developed, I think it was a better movie because now a lot of those other characters are developed. The only thing I will say that did kind of bother me, and has with both of the movies so far, is that it does not take place so much in New York. Neither of them have really taken, like, you know, and as New York, I'm saying like more like, you know, the buildings and like, you know, the iconic, like the way I saw like the Tobey Maguire like movies, you know, like swinging through the city and, you know, the streets and stuff like that. And although they did do a little bit of that, you know, and stuff like that throughout both the movies, I think that for me, it's just like, that's how you see Spider-Man. I think even like in the comic books, that's kind of always depicted, like, and so to see him in like two completely different like settings, and not in like a New York setting, other than a little bit kind of more in the first one. There was a little bit more of that in the first one, but then they were also like wherever they ended up in that first one too, where it wasn't really hardly even in the city. You hear like running through the golf course and stuff like that, and although it's funny and stuff like that, but it's still like, I think it got away for a little bit from like the Spider-Man roots, which is also a little bit like, you know, I don't know. Like I said, the whole way of doing Spider-Man though has been very out of the ordinary, because obviously, again, you had two other ones that came before it that tried to be like, you know, depicting Spider-Man specifically in this, you know, Spider-Man-esque way, and it's doing a little bit different, which I think is kind of cool. But also too, like, I really want to see one where he's in the city, like fighting something in the city, you know, like that's where Spider-Man is. That's kind of the whole thing. And so like I said, I don't know, just to me that's my only like problem with both of those, just the whole Spider-Man thing so far. So I don't know, maybe like for their third movie or whatever, maybe they'll do something, but like I said, we'll see. But yeah, guys, I need to get to bed because actually tomorrow we're going to a 4th of July party that is my dad's like friends from like when he was like little or something like that, and him, and we actually found out, well, not found out about it, but we're kind of like invited during the wedding that we went to, because my dad's brother and my dad were both friends with like this group, like this family, and stuff like that, and they had like kids that were both their ages, I guess, and stuff like that. And so like when they were little, they were all pretty close, and so they, like, my dad got invited kind of from my uncle from like the at the wedding. So my dad ended up deciding that we were gonna go to the party tomorrow, which isn't until 2 o'clock, but I do want to like get my grocery shopping and stuff like that done in the morning, and anything else that I need to get to. So I also edited 4 vlogs today too, guys, which is really good. I think I'm only like 2 or 3 weeks behind, or maybe 3+ weeks behind or something like that. I'm not even a full month, like I'm way less than a month right now. I think I'm like 3 weeks. I'm almost at the vlog that we get the fence up. So I'm editing that actually. I'll probably maybe do that tomorrow if I have enough time, like in between the party and stuff like that. But yeah, we have that going on tomorrow, and then Sunday I think is literally going to be the only day in like the, you know, since 4th of July where we don't have anything going on. Other than 4th of July, we didn't really wind up doing anything, but like there's nothing planned for Sunday as far as I know. So yeah, that's probably going to be my relaxing day, because I am just, like I said, kind of just mentally and physically just like beat and exhausted, and like going and just being at a party tomorrow, and like, again, I don't know how I'm gonna, like, you know, just handle myself, because I am just feel like very, just like I said, kind of physically and mentally tired, and like entertaining you know, a 7-year-old, although it's not difficult. He's a super easygoing kid. It's just that extra like social interaction like every single day, especially when I'm really tired. So yeah, that's, like I said though, we have that to go to tomorrow, and then Sunday I need like a full day to like I need to rest and recuperate. So anyways though, guys, I'll see you all on tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give it a little thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of our sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye, guys.